Martin Luther King was an amazing human being. His thoughts and words changed the way a whole country thinks and acts. He was born on Thursday afternoon, January 15, 1929, in his home located on Auburn Avenue, Atlanta, Georgia, to father Martin Luther King and mother Alberta Christian Williams King. His mother was born September 13, 1904, and died June 30, 1975. Before marrying her husband, Martin Sr., she was a schoolteacher. Martin Luther King's father was born December 19, 1899, and died November 11, 1984. He led Ebenezer Baptist Church in Atlanta, Georgia, after receiving a minister's degree at Morehouse School of Religion. He was the one who encouraged Martin Jr.'s activeness in the civil rights movement through the NAACP, National Association for the Advancement of Colored People. Martin was the second child of his family. His siblings included his older sister Willie Christian King and little brother Albert Daniel Williams King. Martin Luther King spent his elementary years at Young Elementary School in Atlanta, Georgia, and David T. Howard Elementary School. Throughout elementary and high school, he was a very good student, skipping grades and starting college at age 15 without formally graduating from high school. After graduating from Morehouse College in 1948 with a bachelor's degree in sociology, he went on to marry his wife, Corette Scott, on June 18, 1953, but not before receiving his doctorate of philosophy in systematic technology from Boston University on June 5, 1951. Coretta was the daughter of Obadiah and Bernice McMurray Scott. Their wedding took place in the Scott's backyard, and the service was given by Martin's father, Martin King Sr. Together they had 4 children. After that they moved to Montgomery, Alabama, so Martin Luther King could preach at Dexter Avenue Baptist Church. Then, in 1955, he received his Ph.D. in systematic technology from Boston University. Martin Luther King was a large part of the 1955 bus boycott. He was spokesperson of the bus boycott, and on December 5th, he was also elected president of the Montgomery Improvement Association. The bus boycott started when Rosa Parks, a Montgomery, Alabama seamstress, refused to surrender her bus seat to a white bus driver. To make their voices heard, many black people planned to stop taking the buses by either walking or getting rides. White people fought back by harassing black people and arresting them for things like carpooling. The bus boycott lasted for 381 days and was finally ended by the Supreme Court in favor of the NAACP. The ruling said that segregation on public buses was illegal. Then, after his success with the bus boycott, he went on to found the Southern Christian Leadership Conference in 1957. The SCLC was founded not singly by Dr. King, but by 60 other people from 10 states. He was the first president of this organization and remained so from 1957 to 1968. While still president of the Southern Christian Leadership Conference, he wrote a book about the bus boycott called Stride Towards Freedom. In 1960, Martin Luther King went back to his father's church and acted as co-pastor to Ebenezer Baptist Church. Martin Luther King received many awards, including the Congressional Gold Medal in 2004. The Marcus Garvey Prize for Human Rights, and the Rosa L. Parks Award in 1968. At age 35, he was also awarded the Nobel Peace Prize. The march where Martin Luther King gave his famous speech, I Have a Dream, was a highly publicized event. There was about 250,000 people there, and many were white. His speech was given at the Lincoln Memorial, along with many other memorable speeches. The march was very peaceful and needed little to no interference from the police. The march would go down in history, and his speech would be heard by millions. On April 4, 1968, Dr. Martin Luther King was assassinated while standing on the balcony of the Lorraine Motel in Memphis, Tennessee, by James Earl Ray. On June 8, 1968, in London, England, James was arrested. On March 9, 1969, he pled guilty to the murder of Martin Luther King and was sentenced to 99 years in prison. Martin's funeral took place on April 9, 1968, in Atlanta, at his father's church, Ebenezer Baptist Church. This funeral was for family and designated guests. The second funeral was open to the public and was held on the same day at the Morehouse College. Dr. Martin Luther King had a huge effect on the way we look at each other, and I hope he will always be remembered for what he did.
So So even though we face the difficulties of today and tomorrow, I still have a dream. It is a dream deeply rooted in the American dream. I have a dream that one day this nation will rise up, live out the true meaning of its creed. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal. I have a dream that one day on the red hills of Georgia, sons of former slaves and the sons of former slave owners will they be able to sit down together at the table of brotherhood. I have a dream that one day, even the state of Mississippi, a state sweltering with the heat of injustice, sweltering with the heat of oppression, will be transformed into an oasis of freedom and justice. I have a dream. My 4 little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. I have a dream today. I have a dream that one day, down in Alabama, with its vicious racists, with its governor having his lips dripping with the words of interposition and nullification, one day right there in Alabama, little black boys and black girls will be able to join hands with little white boys and white girls as sisters and brothers. I have a dream today. That one day every valley shall be exalted, and every hill and mountain shall be made low. The rough places will be made plain, and the crooked places will be made straight, and the glory of the Lord shall be revealed, and all flesh shall see it together. This is our hope. This is the faith that I go back to the South with. With this faith, we will be able to hew out of the mountain of despair a stone of hope. With this faith, we will be able to transform the jangling discords of our nation into a beautiful symphony of brotherhood. With this faith, we will be able to work together, to pray together, to struggle together, to go to jail together, to stand up for freedom together, knowing that we will be free one day. This will be the day when all of God's children will be able to sing with new meaning, my country, 'tis of thee. Sweet land of liberty, of thee I sing. Land where my fathers died, land of the pilgrim's pride. From every mountainside, let freedom ring. And if America is to be a great nation, this must become true. So let freedom ring. From the prodigious hilltops of New Hampshire, let freedom ring. From the mighty mountains of New York, let freedom ring. From the heightening Alleghanies of Pennsylvania, let freedom ring. From the snow-capped Rockies of Colorado, let freedom ring. From the curvaceous slopes of California. But not only that, let freedom ring from Stone Mountain of Georgia. Let freedom ring from Lookout Mountain of Tennessee. Let freedom ring from every hill and molehill of Mississippi, from every mountainside. Let freedom ring, and when it happens, when we allow freedom ring, when we let it ring from every village and every hamlet, from every state and every city, we will be able to speed up that day when all of God's children, black men and white men, Jews and Gentiles, Protestants and Catholics will be able to join hands and sing in the words of the old Negro spiritual, free at last, thank God Almighty.